Motherfucker.
Hold up, I hope y'all watching this shit.
First round, real quick.
The people that are in those training rooms wouldn't know how good.
Because he just knocks dudes out real quick in the first round.
Yeah, but now we're gonna get a good. I might fuck with this guy. He just, to me, I thought he was a con artist, just based off his look.
They're edge.
Holy shit! What the hell just happened?
What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to GSR Gonzo'S Sports Room. Friday, February 4th, 2022. Got a lot to talk about today. We'll talk about Flores suing the NFL. Talk about NBA. Got a full slate of NBA games going on tonight. Watching some college wrestling right now. If you're a sports fan, there's quite a bit on tonight. No, I want to thank everybody for joining us. If you missed the interview we just had with the pro wrestler Big Whiskey Jared Kripke, you can find that on our YouTube Facebook, Twitch pages. Go check it out. We had a good interview with him, lasted a little over an hour. Can't wait to have him back on. We had a few technical difficulties. Be nice to have him back on again and be able to talk about some things we didn't get to talk about today, but that would be cool. But don't forget, we're live Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern with Easy Money, a sports betting show. Come join us. We're giving out winners. That show's live Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We're also live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern with GSR Gonzo'S Sports Room, our sports talk show. We talk about just different sports talk topics and the different things going on in the sports world. Shows live, also live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, 7 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can find both those shows, GSR, Gonzo'S Sports Room, and Easy Money, a sports betting show, in podcast form on Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Pocket Cast. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Also, don't forget, we have our new GWR Weekly Pro Wrestling Podcast. New episodes of it drop every Sunday. What's up, Certified Wrestling Podcast? Thanks for being on here and thanks for commenting. But yeah, our GWR Weekly Pro Wrestling Podcast, new episode drops every Sunday at 9 on Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find it. If you'd like to watch the video version of it, the video version of it also drops on YouTube at 9 a.m. Every Sunday. So we got a big episode of it getting ready to drop this Sunday. We recapped the Royal Rumble, talk independent wrestling, talk some AEW, talk WWE. So come join us Sunday morning. Come check that out on our podcast networks and on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button, the follow buttons, like buttons, share. We appreciate the support. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo'S Sports Room. That's where we post all the information about any of our shows, our daily picks for Easy Money, a sports betting show, get posted on our social media accounts, interview announcements for all of our GWR live interviews, which as of right now, the GWR live interviews, with those, they're different days and times, so they're TBA. We usually try to announce them 3 or 4 days early, so give people a chance to know when they're going to be. Like I said, today we had pro wrestler Jared Kripke was on earlier. Go check it out. You can find it on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. It was an awesome conversation, and he's one of the top young wrestlers in Indiana. But all right, we got a lot to talk about. We'll go ahead and start with let's go ahead and start with some NBA. Got some good have some good NBA games going on tonight. Bulls and Pacers are actually playing right now. I'm getting ready to turn it over here to see how that game's going. Bulls are probably going to murder the Pacers. Pacers are just not a very good team this year at all, and they've had so many injuries that hell, it seems like half the season we haven't had half the game. We've only played almost half the season, and half of that season we haven't had our starting lineup. I bet you there's only a handful of games that the Pacers have played with their regular starting five, between Brogdon being hurt, which Warren's been hurt for about a year and a half now. Sabonis has been out. Levert's been out. That one we've had five backups starting for the last, I don't know how, for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Pacers have been in a bad spot. They've only won 5 of their five games out of their last 20 games. They've lost 11 in a row versus Eastern Conference teams. So the Pacers are in a bad spot. I think they're about ready to blow this team up, and they're probably going to move on and try to make a trade. I figured they're going to trade either Turner or some. I hope they don't trade Sabonis, but they might trade him as well. And then they're probably going to trade. I can see them trading Brogdon, some of them guys, and trying to build back up. But it seems like the Pacers have been at a rebuild forever now. So do we really need to go through a whole nother rebuild? Just because it's mainly injuries. I think if we could stay healthy, I think we have a good team. But a good team that hasn't managed to stay healthy. I'll be right back. I'll get a paper from over here real quick. This is the one. Yeah, here we go. All right. All right, some other news going on. In other games going on in NBA night, you got the Cavs at the Hornets. Both these teams have been surprise teams this year. The Cavs have been playing well, or have not been playing well down the stretch here. They've lost their last 3 straight on the road, but they've covered 61%. They've covered the spread 61% of the time this season, and the Hornets covered the spread 59% of the time. So both these teams cover. Both these teams have lost are coming off losses. Should be a good game. But the Cavs have been good on the road, especially as road underdogs. The big question with the Cavs is Garland going to play tonight? And the last I heard, they didn't think he was going to play. Watching college wrestling right now, Ohio State against Penn State. Nick Lee, Indiana native, wrestles for Penn State. Ranked number 1 in the nation, is wrestling Dylan D'Amelio from Ohio State, who's ranked 20th. Nick Lee's up 4-1 with just under a minute left in the first period in that. Let's see what the Pacers got going on over here. During a timeout, the Pacer game looks like 20 to 28. Bulls are up 28-20 on the Indiana Pacers with 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Bulls are up by 8, and the spread's up to 5.5 in that game. Cleveland and Charlotte game that we were just talking about. The Hornets are up 18-14 with about 4 minutes left in the first quarter in that game. Then you have the Boston Celtics at the Detroit Pistons. Celtics are up 21-13. 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter, and the Celtics are 11.5-point favorites as of right now. Here in about 20 minutes, here in about 10 minutes, you got the Atlanta Hawks and Toronto Raptors tipping off. Then in about an hour and 20 minutes, you got the Rockets and Spurs tipping off. So got some games, some decent games tonight. But like I said, Indiana Pacers are getting beat 28-20. Pacers just aren't a good team right now. Sucks to say that because I'm a big Pacer fan. All right. Hawks and Raptors. I like the Raptors in this game. Hawks, I don't think Trae Young is playing tonight. That's something to watch out for there. Rockets and the Spurs. Rockets are 1-4 in their last 5. Spurs are 5-16 in their last 21. Neither one of these teams are a strong team or really know how to finish. But I would lean toward the Spurs in this game. Pelicans at the Nuggets. That's pretty much. But 2 big games you have tonight is the 76ers at the Mavs. Looks like Sixers might be minus Curry. The Mavs have lost 2 in a row to two of the worst teams in the NBA. Then you have Nets and Jazz, but the Jazz are going to be playing basically with all subs almost. I mean, they're battling injuries big time. Mitchell's out. Ingles is out for the season now. I think Conley might be out too. So the Jazz is struggling with injuries. They're 1-5 straight up their last 6 games. The Nets have lost 6 in a row. They're 7-6 against the spread as underdogs. Durant's still out. They will have Kyrie and Harden both playing tonight, but they had them both playing last game and still lost. Harden only had like 4 points. James Harden hasn't been playing good. Let's talk about that for a minute. Do we think that James Harden want out of Brooklyn? He went against everything that he'd ever really been. He'd never been a guy that had ever caused any drama. Never heard his name. Never heard James Harden's name associated with any kind of drama or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, he decides he wants out of Houston. So he starts doing this shit, to piss Houston off, try to get out of there because he wants to go to Brooklyn. Showed up out of shape, just didn't play, but was out of character. Was out of character of James Harden. When James Harden had played in OKC, we never seen that. He played, there was never no drama that way from Harden. It was always he always runs out of gas in the playoffs. He can't win the big game in the playoffs. That was the knocks on him. It wasn't about him being a drama guy or anything like that. So then when this happens in Houston, it's like, why? Why did you want out of Houston so bad? Because you hadn't got the championship that you thought you should have won. But yeah, you should have won championships. He has nobody to blame for James Harden not having a championship but James Harden. I mean, you were up 3-1, right? Weren't they up 3-1 on the Warriors and then lost? Or no, that was KD and Russ. They were up 3-1. But no, I think Houston was too. Weren't they? I'm pretty sure they were too. The year Chris Paul got hurt, or it might have been up 2-1. But they were winning that series, and then Chris Paul's ankle got hurt, and then the Warriors came back, ended up closing out that series to come out of the West that season. So, but no, I don't think he should be one out of Brooklyn. Should he be pissed that he done all that stuff to get over there with Durant and to get over there with Irving, and then the way everything's went down? Is he probably aggravated? Maybe a little pissed off? Yeah, I would say probably so. I mean, you leave Houston to go to Brooklyn to try to compete to win championships. first season you're there, what you guys, the big three might have played 10 games together, and they haven't played much more than that together this year, because you've had Kyrie out, can't play no home games because of being unvaccinated, which is that's his choice. But I mean, so he hasn't been there. Durant's been hurt. Harden was hurt, was banged up a little bit toward the beginning of the season. He hasn't been shooting well. The refs calling the fouls different seem to really bother Harden. I don't know if it's just because he's not getting all the tic-tac fouls he used to get, so he's not getting as many free throws, and maybe that's was how he stayed in his rhythm more. And maybe since he is not getting those now it's harder for him to get in his rhythm, and he's having more trouble. He's struggling more. But where's he gonna go? People say, "Oh, he wants out of Brooklyn. He don't like it. He's been treated wrong. Kyrie done him wrong." Where's he gonna go? That he's gonna have a better chance at. Where's he gonna go right now that he's gonna have a better chance for a championship than with the team he's on? Where are they gonna trade him to that he's gonna have a better chance at a championship? You going Lakers going to try to get him to get even older? I don't see that happening or working if it was to happen. I mean, which top team is going to trade a lot to get him that they think they're going to get, that he's going to get them over the hump? I don't see a top team trading for James Harden. And yeah, James Harden, like I said, it'd be stupid to leave Brooklyn at this point. You made, I mean, it seems like you made the mistake by going to Brooklyn. Now, at this point, you might as well just live with it, because where you're going to go, it's going to give you a better chance to win a championship. We can all say what we want about the Brooklyn Nets, but if they can get healthy, they're going to be a tough out. They'd be a lot tougher out if they would have Kyrie for all the games. But I think they start playing well. I think they'll figure something out on that, whether they're going to take the fine and start paying, or having them play at the home games. And I guess they could do that, and they just have to pay a fine, which if that's the case, I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. But I think they're not doing that yet if it's the case, because the NBA really don't want to deal with it. And because if they try to do it, then people are going to complain, and then so there's going to be probably a big deal made out of it, which I can kind of understand. But so I don't think he's going to play any home games unless the mandate gets changed. I don't think they're going to do that where they pay the fine, because they don't want to deal with the backlash, and they're going to cause the backlash, and then the NBA is going to have to deal with the backlash, and the NBA is going to have to. The NBA will probably overreact and do something to try to get to control the backlash and to get it to calm down. But no, if I'm James Harden, I'm staying in Brooklyn. That's at this moment right now. That's where is going to give me the best chance of trying to get a ring. And you got to hope that New York City changes their mandate and be able to where Kyrie can play the home games, or I mean, you're just going to have to hope that you can get some kind of home court advantage and take care of the games when you have Kyrie. I mean, it's going to be make the margin of error even lower. I mean, they're not going to have much of a margin for error if they can only use Kyrie Irving on the road. It's just not going to happen. Hey, thanks, Brandon. Yeah, it's nice to finally feel better and being back on. First day back in about 2 weeks. Been sick. Been battling with the COVID. Finally back at it. Yeah, it is nice. Nice to nice to be feeling better and doing better. Can't wait to play some poker this weekend for the Super Bowl. Gonna be a fun time. But yes, you have that stuff going on with James Harden, Brooklyn Nets. But why, if if you're James Harden, it makes no sense to go anywhere else because, right now, not in mid-season, where you go, is a top contender. I don't see a top contender trading for him, especially what the Nets are going to want for him. To think that he's going to get him over the hump. He hasn't had a good shooting season. Finish the season out, and if you want to go somewhere, regroup and try to go somewhere next year. That's more what I see happening with James Harden than seeing him than I do seeing him just try to get out of there this year. Because I don't see there being a market for him this year. All right. Who's going to win? Who's going to win the NBA this year? Let's talk about that for a minute. Is there anybody that's going to be able to beat the Phoenix Suns this year? Suns have went on what two winning streaks over 10 games. I think the first one was got up to 17 or 18 game winning streak. I think this one got up to 11. If they stay healthy, they're going to be a real tough out for anybody. I don't see anybody in the West beating them. When the Jazz was healthy, I thought the Jazz could have a shot just because of their shooting, but the Jazz have lost so many players. I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to beat them in a 7-game series. I don't see the Lakers getting that far. I think because of the seeds, they'll be different unless they just are. The Lakers are so bad they end up playing real early. But still, I don't see the Lakers being able to beating the Suns. In the East, you have the Bucks, who when are healthy have looked good, and then have looked real good at times this season when they've been healthy. You have the Bulls are playing good ball. Do I think the Bulls have enough to win it all this year? No. Miami Heat, if their shooters get hot, they still have a lot of that team that made it to the finals just a couple years ago. Yes, I know it was in the bubble, and can make a big difference, different situation. But since that, they haven't been healthy. If they're healthy and they get Duncan Robinson where comes back where he's knocking down threes, and with Hero and Butler, if their big man can stay in the game, they'll be right there. And the Nets, I think the Nets just depends on health. The Sixers, I think that's going to come back on them. Of their chance for the East is going to be not having Ben Simmons and Embiid's been playing his ass off. The other guys, it hurts them. It's hurting the Sixers right now because Seth Curry's out with a back injury. So that's another guy that's capable of giving you a 15 plus point night. NBA is starting to pick up, especially since getting closer to the All-Star break. So you'll start seeing as here in the next month or two, you'll see a lot more competitive games as the season winds down to the end. Now we'll do a quick recap here, quick recap of the NBA, and then we'll move on. And let's talk some Super Bowl. All right, in NBA right now we have the Chicago Bulls at the Indiana Pacers. 8.5 minutes left in the second quarter, and you have the Bulls are up 46-38 over the Indiana Pacers in Indiana. Bulls are 7.5-point favorites as of right now. The Cleveland Cavaliers at the Charlotte Hornets. 10 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second quarter. The Hornets are up 33-25 over the Cavs. I don't believe that Garland is playing tonight. I know when I was doing the sports betting show this morning, Garland was questionable. Because with Garland questionable, I actually took the Hornets to win this game in one of the picks I gave out today. Hornets are 10.5-point favorites right now. They started this game out as 4.5-point favorites as they're up 9. like I said, still a long way to go. There's still almost 11 minutes left in the second quarter in that game. You have the Boston Celtics at the Detroit Pistons. The Celtics are up 34-21 with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. This is a battle of teams that are not been real good this year. The Celtics have certainly not met expectations of what they thought they were going to be this year. Atlanta Hawks at the Toronto Raptors. The Hawks were up 4-2 with 10.5 minutes left in the first quarter. All right, that's a recap of all the scores of the NBA games that are going on right now. Before we move over and talk about some NFL, I'll go ahead and give you guys out the picks I gave out today on Easy Money, a sports betting show. Come check out Easy Money, a sports betting show. We're live Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We're giving out winners. Today's picks I gave out the Bulls money line against the Indiana Pacers. The Charlotte Hornets -4.5 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Toronto Raptors money line against the Atlanta Hawks. Then I had the Philadelphia 76ers money line against the Dallas Mavericks. And the New York Nets, the Brooklyn Nets money line over the Utah Jazz. And then in college basketball, I took Seton Hall -5.5. Those were the picks I gave out today on Easy Money, a sports betting show. Come join us Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. All right, let's move on. Let's talk some about the Super Bowl here. I know this is Super Bowl everybody predicted, right? Super Bowl everybody predicted Rams and Bengals. That's what everybody thought was going to happen at the beginning of the season. We was going to have the Rams versus the Bengals. I think a lot of people thought the Rams would be there. There ain't very many people that could look at me and look me in the eye and convince me from the beginning of the season that they thought the Bengals was going to be in the Super Bowl. Now, there was a lot of people that were picking the Rams to go to the Super Bowl. The Rams became the favorites to go to the Super Bowl after they got Matthew Stafford. Then after that, they went and added Beckham and Von Miller. I mean, they were trying to put their super team together. They got rid of all their picks, and hey, it got them to the Super Bowl. We'll see if it's going to win them the Super Bowl. I like the Bengals in this game. Let me see what the odds are around. I know as of earlier, the Rams are still 4-point favorites, -198 on the money line. The Bengals are +166 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 49.5. I like the Bengals in this game. I think the Bengals are going to be able to make it tough on the Rams passing game, and it's going to come down to, can the Rams run the ball? And to me, it's going to come down to which team can run the ball better, because the Bengals need to be able to run the ball to relieve some of that pressure off of Burrow, especially with Aaron Donald and Von Miller and all these big dogs they have on that defensive line that can rush the passer. They don't want this to turn into a game like it was when Cincinnati played Tennessee and Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times. Oh, excuse me, it was 11 times, but 2 of them got wiped off because of penalties. They took the penalty instead of the sack yards. So it ended up being officially 9 sacks. They ended up finding a way to win that game, but they can't be in a game like that, not with Aaron Donald and Miller coming off the edges. Their offensive line's going to have to play at least to the level that they did against the Chiefs. Give Mahomes a little bit of time, which it wasn't like they played great against the Chiefs. I mean, hell, you saw Mahomes was running for his life and was able to make a couple big plays on the run, or make a couple big plays with his legs to keep drives going. But they need that running game. If Cincinnati can get that, I think whichever team can get the running game going is going to be the team that's going to have the advantage and probably going to win this game. And that's why I'm going with the Bengals in this game, because I trust Mixon more than I trust Akers. Yeah, Akers had a decent game last game. Game before that, he fumbled the ball out 2 or 3 times. So they phased his rollout more. I think they're going to go more with Michelle, which could be a bad thing. I mean, that could be a bad thing for the Bengals, because Michelle ain't no slouch. I think Michelle's a little. I think Michelle has the Rams coaching staff's guy has more of their trust right now than what Akers does. But I know that the Bengals coaching staff trusts Mixon, and they're going to give the ball to Mixon. I mean, look, Tony Romo yelled, bitched, complained, bitched, yelled about the Bengals running the ball in first round. They got to quit running the ball every first down. They got to open them up some. Bengals finally started opening it up on first down some in the second half. Was able to get their offense going to win the game, but they stuck with that run game. There were still times in the second half when they were making their comeback. It's like, why are you running the ball every first down? They know you're going to run the ball. They're stacking it up. They were in so many 2nd and 9s and 3rd and 8s that it was, I mean, crazy. I mean, I can't remember how many times they were in 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. But especially in the first half, every drive they had, it seemed like that's what it was. Run the ball for maybe 2 yards, bring up 2nd and 8. Run the ball again. Now it's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5. And then, nope, we don't make the play, let's punt. And then the defense just was letting Kansas City drive down the field. But then that whole game flipped. And the play that flipped that game, people could say, oh, Mahomes played terrible in the second half. Yeah, he played terrible in the second half. But the play that flipped that game was second quarter with about 4 or 5 seconds left. And instead of throwing if you're not going to take the field goal, then you're going to try to get for a quick pass, throw it in the end zone. That way, if you hope it's incomplete and you still have a second, try to kick, and you get to kick the field goal. Instead, with no timeouts, he tosses the ball in the flat behind the line of scrimmage, or maybe just a couple of yards in front of it, short of the end zone. Anyway, in the flat, short of the end zone, and defensive player made a hell of a play, made a nice tackle. They don't get no more points. Keeps the score 21-3 going into half, or 21-10. Yeah, 21-10 going into half, and it kept that game. That was the game. If the Chiefs scored a touchdown there, that game was over. If you take those 3 points, that game don't go. That game might. I know things can change. Different things maybe could have happened, but that game might not even go into overtime. The Chiefs tried to get too cute at the end of that first half there, and that, to me, that's what flipped the game. And in the second half, the Bengals came out. They made adjustments where the Chiefs didn't. And Patrick Mahomes looked shook from the moment they didn't get that no points there at the end of the first half. Mahomes looked shook, and especially in the overtime, his throws weren't even close. They were off target. One of them, before they did get the interception, the throw before that should have been intercepted. It was right at the defender, hit the defender in the hands, and he just dropped it. I think it's going to be a good Super Bowl game. I like the Bengals at the +4. You get that -108. Or honestly, right now, I'm probably betting on the Bengals. If I'm betting a side or a total on this game, I'm going with the Bengals at plus money at the +166. There's no value at taking the Rams at -198. Not if you're wanting to make money. If you're wanting to make money on the Rams, you're going to have to do maybe parlay them winning the game with a Cooper Kupp prop bet and Odell Beckham Jr. prop bet. You might be able to make some money that way, but you're doing that more. Then you're relying on three to four teams to win, where you take the Bengals, and all Bengals have to do is win that game. And and the Bengals proved that they can play with anybody. I think it's going to be a real competitive game. I think Joe Burrow is going to come up big at the end of the game, make a big play to win this game for the Cincinnati Bengals. So as of right now, I really like the Bengals. We'll see. Health-wise, Bengals look pretty healthy. They think there's a chance that tight end comes back. If that tight end can come back, I think that's huge. I think it's a huge lift for the Bengals if they get Usama back. And the same thing for the Rams with their tight end. it would be a huge lift for them if they get Higbee back. But I think the Bengals are hot. They're just hot right now, playing great football. I think they're going to do it for one more game, and I like the Bengals here on the money line at the plus 166. I'm gonna go with the over the 48.5. I think there's going to be some points scored. I can see maybe like a 30-24 game or 30-27. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Both these teams are capable. Offenses are capable of scoring points, and can have guys that can make some big explosive plays and score points quick. All right. I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Don't forget, we're live Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, with Easy Money, a sports betting show. That show's live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We're also live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern with GSR Gonzo'S Sports Room. That show's also live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can find both those shows in podcast form on Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Don't forget the new GWR Weekly Pro Wrestling Podcast will be dropping 9 a.m. this Sunday morning. Recap the Rumble, talk WWE news, AEW news, and talk some of the stuff going on in independent wrestling. So make sure you tune in for that. It drops every Sunday 9 a.m. On YouTube, or excuse me, Apple Podcasts, Anchor Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, most places listen to podcasts. And then, or you can find the video version, which also drops at 9 a.m. every Sunday on YouTube. If you would like to watch the video version of it, we have 2 episodes out so far. That's on both the podcast networks and on YouTube. And we'll, like I said, a new one will drop this Sunday at 9. Going to be a big show. Don't miss it. All right. Hope everybody be safe this weekend. It's going to be cold out. Looks like maybe we got through the biggest part of the storm part. Now I just got to get through the cold. Excuse me. But yeah, so be safe. Try to stay warm. Like I said, if you're a college wrestling fan, Penn State versus Ohio State is on right now on the Big Ten Network. Pacers are down 8. Let's see what's going on over here in the college wrestling real quick. Penn State's up 13-3 as a team over Ohio State. They just won at 157 pounds. So. And then there's another wrestling dual meet on right after this one. So if you're a college wrestling fan, there's 2 dual meets back-to-back on Big Ten Network tonight. Go over there, check it out. A lot of NBA games on tonight. Have fun watching sports. We will. Our live shows that we were supposed to do this weekend have been canceled due to the weather. So we will see you guys Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern for Easy Money, a sports betting show. And then we'll see you again at 7 p.m. Eastern for GSR Gonzo'S Sports Room. Don't forget, new episode of the GWR Weekly Pro Wrestling Podcast drops this Sunday at 9 on all the podcast networks and on YouTube. So make sure you go check that out. Check out our merch store, streamlabs.com/Gonzo'S Sports/merch. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Peace.